So you're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. You're welcome to our conversation today. And I am hoping that we are all live now. And we are, of course, waiting for the man of the day or the doctor of the evening, and that is Dr. Akude. Dr. Akude, your camera is off and we are now live. I am hoping that the people can hear you still. Um, Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are going to be having a conversation with Dr. Akude, and Dr. Akude is it's a history that has happened in Cologne, and he is the first, no, the very first black person or someone with an African heritage to sit in the city council of Cologne. And I'm very excited to have him today because the last time we had a conversation with him, and we were wishing and hoping that he was going to get into the parliament. And I am so happy for him that he's gone into the parliament. Dr. Akude, you're welcome. Thank you for being my guest today, and congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, my sister.
Okay, I don't know what is with your camera.
Yeah, I just don't know. It's showing here that the camera is off. Then if I click on it to put the camera on.
So we are having a little challenge, and therefore we just keep waiting for the honorable. He's going to come up very soon, and we want to also wish all those who have candidated in North Rhine-Westphalia and especially in Cologne, but also in Essen, Dortmund. I'm wishing everyone who is waiting for the result again, luck, and luck. And for all those who went into the parliament, I'm wishing you a whole lot of energy, positive energy, or again, empowering spirit that can lead you to do the work that you're called to do. I am aware that it's not a very easy job, but I am happy because you're in there not for the money, not for the monetary interest, but for the work and for the representation of the African people also in your diverse community. When I talk about politics, I just love talking about it because I know that it is so, so important for us. And I know that it is especially for us, the migrants, we really have to get involved. If you do not get involved into this politics, then you will definitely have a lot of challenges. And therefore, I welcome again Dr. Akude. Dr. Akude, you've made history in Cologne. Congratulations, sir. We're going to talk
Thank
without
you.
maybe your image,
Camera. Yeah.
and let's see how it goes. Doctor, you're welcome to the program. How are you feeling? And how is that feeling of winning a battle that you have fought for this time, long period of time during the campaign?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I feel good. I feel very good. I think the most important reason is for the fact that the campaigns are over because it was a very hard job. You have to walk and talk around every day, sometimes for up to 16 hours, you know. So I'm happy the whole thing is over so that at least I have more time to myself, for my job, for the family, and everything. And then I'm also much happier for the fact that I got into the Cologne City Council. This is something that makes me happy. That was my aim, and whenever you aim at something and you get it, then it makes you happy. So that's the way I feel now. But again, it's been kind of stressing, very stressing since yesterday. Having a lot of interviews, photo sessions, and all these phone calls coming in, from all over the world. A lot of things to attend to. So but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's better to have such stresses caused by success than having them caused by failure. So
Mm,
I'm really happy.
mm. I'm happy for you too, and I'm very
Mhm.
sure that our people are also very excited and happy for you. I wrote on my headlines when I was thinking about the fact that you won into this one, you won this victory, or you had this victory. I kept thinking within myself, what difference will that make? And maybe you can tell us, what does it make? How does it feel? You've told us how it feels, but what difference will it make you sitting in that position that you're now going to sit?
Yeah, I think it will make a whole lot of difference. I used to put it like this: that uh, um, the way you see the world depends on the angle through which you look at the world, and this
Mm,
angle depends on your geographical location. So, being who I am, coming from where I come from, and having experienced what I have experienced, I think having me inside there, just my presence will make a change, not just because of the skin color, but because of the fact that I am sure that somebody with my experience, with my background, and somebody who has looked at the world from the angle through which I look at it, has never really sat at the Cologne City Council,
mm,
So, and this is what I want to bring in, this the other view, the view from, you may call it the view from down below. You may
mm,
call it maybe the view from the south. You may call it whatever you want, but it's a new view of life, a new view of politics for a lot of people. For a Cologne City Council, and I think this is going to be very challenging for myself and for the other members. But I trust that we will get over it. Another issue I want to touch is the fact that everybody expects, being a black man, you're a black representative. That is correct. That is one of the things I want to do, get them to look at issues from our perspective, so that when things are said, when laws are made, when politics are negotiated, it will be my duty to see that respect is paid to our perspectives, and I will also try all my best in cooperation with the other councillors to make sure that the interest of the migrants, especially those of us from Africa who happen to have the greatest problems, that they are reflected also in the policies that the city of Cologne will implement.
mhm. Thank you very much. You've taken even to the next question I was going to ask you, because I know that as a brother, a doctor from the African background, many of us are like looking up to you with a lot of expectations. And but I also know that you are not voted in there just for the black people. You are voted in
Mhm.
there for the council. That means that for all the people in the city of Cologne. Now, my direct question would be, how do you intend to specifically use the position that you're going to have to affect and impact the life of the African migrants in your city?
Yeah, there are a lot of things to be done. Um, you know, you have to do a lot of things on the side of the African community, and then a lot of other things on the side of Cologne city government. Let me start with the African community. Um, I think we need a more and better stringent organization and representation. I think that we have too many organizations here. So part of the things we would think about is how to streamline them, bring them in shape, get them a little bit slimmer, so that it will be easier to function. Why I'm saying this is that I intend to involve uh, um, representatives of African organizations, representatives of migrant organizations in the things I do. And if you have to deal with 50 or even more organizations, it becomes very difficult to manage, and it's not just about Africans. These migrants in Cologne, for example, come from everywhere, So it will be very, I would like to plead with my African brothers and sisters, the leaders of these organizations, to really think about how we can, really get them a little bit slimmer, so that we can work together and be effective, and so that what we call transaction costs, in our cooperation will be reduced. So that is one thing. They will have the opportunity to say their mind, have their say. I will inform them about things that we are discussing, and I will try to get. I'm not the kind of person who will think that because I'm a Black African, I know the position of Africa on this issue, or I know the interest of Africa on this issue. No, I intend to get around. I intend to consult people, leaders, so that we, put heads together and try to fashion out, a representable, position for ourselves. On the other side, on the side of Cologne government, I will try my best again in cooperation with the other councillors and people in public service, to see that we try to intensify the fight against racism, for example. And, I think the city administration could help in this area through a lot of means. I think that, one of the stories being told about us, one of the cliches that, fits racism is, that we Blacks are not capable of this, are not capable of that. So if the city of Cologne will also place Black people in positions where they will show their capability, and also positions where they will be visible to others, this will go a long way in fighting against racism by telling people who tell such stories and such cliches that we could really do it and even better. Because we, due to the experiences we have in life, a lot of us, are very strong-minded. We are not really weak at taking decisions, because we have had challenges in life that have forced us to take very unpleasant decisions for ourselves, for our lives, for our families. And sometimes this kind of boldness in taking decisions, is also needed in politics. I mean, if you observe what is happening in Germany today, you will see that in a lot of places there is a lack of courage, in taking positions, in taking decisions that people know are the right thing. Look at climate policies, for example. We know what to do. Science and research, have given us all tools that we need to solve the problem, but we've not even started. We keep postponing and postponing. So that is something
there's a lot of work you are
doing.
having in your hands, Doctor,
Yeah.
and I'm very convinced about that. I want to take you back to the question of networking, because you mentioned that, and I think that it is going to be a very important instrument to bring both parties or the community together. But my questions will be directly to find out, because you spoke about how to structure the African organizations and make them slimmer, so that you can be able to properly work with them. My question will be, how has been your work with them up to now? Do you see that it can now improve after being in the council and having the position you're having? Can the working together now improve, and how will you really help in reducing and slimming so that you can achieve, or you all together achieve, the best results you want to achieve for your community?
Yeah, I hope that that my new position will help me. Just give me 1 second.
So doctor is having
Yeah.
one
Yeah. Okay.
second. He's
Sorry.
back
Yeah.
now. Thank
I'm
you,
back.
doctor.
Yeah,
You're
because
back.
the phone is ringing. Sorry. I receive a lot of calls every minute. I'm very sorry. I didn't put off my phone. So as I was saying, I hope and I think, that this new position, will facilitate working together, because God so kind. I've been living in Cologne here for 26 years, and I know a lot of all those people, So and that is a good basis for us to get together, And now that I'm in
Brilliant.
a position,
Okay.
hello.
Yes, now I can hear you again, doctor.
Oh, you didn't hear me before.
Yes, now it's good. You can go on, sir.
So what I'm saying is that now, I think the position will help, in bringing us together, because this is a historical moment for all of us. This is something that is happening for the first time. And I think the greatest advantage for the Black community is if we could use this to get together. I think that's whatever we want to solve, whatever the problem is that we want to solve, and we have a lot of them. The most important thing is get together, pull our resources together, and then lay down our priorities and start taking them one after the other. And I was saying that I've been living here in Cologne for 26 years, and I know a lot of all those people, leading this organization. So having this personal access to them, will facilitate issues, in really trimming down the number. There are several ways we can do that. And, as you've asked, my dream will have been that we have just one Black organization, where all these other organizations will be functioning under it as as a specialist arms, So, and then we'll try to help them to specialize in different areas, so that there will also be basis for cooperation. Because if you're doing what I'm doing, then you don't need me, I don't need you. But if you're doing is different from what I'm doing, in fact, even by, if I'm applying for a project where your own services are needed, I will automatically consult you, and even try to make you part of my project. We might put a joint project together, so that this will facilitate cooperation. So this is one way of doing it. Another way could be, that all these organizations will just fuse into one. This is very, very difficult, uh, um, because you have to deal with egos of people. You have to deal with fears of people who have been running these organizations and now feel that, if you amalgamate, they will lose their, leverages over one or two things happening there.
Mm, mm,
So these are the things we need to talk about. So that's an option and a problem associated with that option. And I think when we'll sit down, to negotiate, there may be other options we might need to tackle. I think that
mm,
if we are serious and if we mean business, if we are really driven by the urgency, to solve the problems we have as a community, then that's a basis, to operate, to
mm,
build up something, to solve those problems that I'm talking about,
mm.
problems of cooperation, of fear, and things like that. Yeah.
Mm. Thank you very much, Doctor. I know the challenge that we may be having as organizations, but I think that the position that you may have could give accessibility so that the people get to understand exactly what it means to work together and then to be able to
Mhm.
cooperate. And I think that it is time for us to see also and make the differences. I mean, we can have a lot of differences, but we can have one point that unites us, and it is
Mhm.
the aspect of the
Mhm.
migration, and it's the aspect of the
Mhm.
racism, and it's the aspect of
Mhm.
history, and one can always bring
Mhm.
that together. So I think that yes,
Mhm.
it could be a very good idea if you come together as an umbrella and everyone has their roles well defined. But this will mean that you
Mhm.
also have access to the different groups of people. I'm very
Mhm.
interested also to know, because I know now after this interview, many other people will be interviewing you, and of course, people are watching to listen how you're going to interact and how you're going to commune and bring this one people together. My concern with the African people, because I am migrant and I am an African, but I also know that I live in a society where we have other groups of people. And so my question will be now, how do you want to network these two groups of people? And how do you want to be and play the role of, I don't know how to put it, the role that can facilitate the coming together and overcoming racism?
Yeah, as I said before, I have a very deep reach into the Black community. I have also a reach into the Turkish community and also the East European, especially the Ukrainian, the Russian, So even though Ukraine and Russia now are not really, colored people, that are white people, but what I'm saying is that having been here for a long time and having
Mm-hmm.
participated in a lot of political issues, I have my reach, I have my contacts, my networks in these
Beautiful.
areas, and definitely, we know we have to work together. We've been doing that, in a lot of areas, organizing community meeting points, where different cultures meet to celebrate one thing or the other. In Ehrenfeld here, we do regularly street foods, where people who live in Ehrenfeld get around and meet each other. So we already have those networks. They already exist, and I'm part of that.
Right.
So what we'll now do is seeing how we will, use them to, facilitate works in, facilitate assignments in this new position. You know.
Thank you so very much. We have a number of people listening to you and wishing you congratulations. Unfortunately, your
Yeah,
camera has some challenge.
yeah.
Patience.
I think it has to do with this stream yard. But go on. Because I've not had this before.
Well, unfortunately, Patience Kwegara Atanga, congratulations to you, doctor. We are proud of you. And we are also having Dr. Jerry, who says Black politics matter.
Yeah.
This is a nice one, Doctor. And then we have Batemona Abeke, who says, thank you, Sumpon Social Services, for highlighting our very own. Courage to
Mhm.
you, Dr. Akude or Mr.
Yeah, thank you,
Emeka.
Helen. Thank you, Helen. Mhm.
Okay, and then we have Wambwe Rose, who is saying
Rose.
congratulations.
Yeah.
So we have
These
a
are
lot of.
the people, yeah.
Yes, these are your people,
Rose.
and that's why it is important for you to know that the people are supporting you, and that's why my interest is to know how you have to really work together. Because if the people are behind you, it is a historical event. That's what Dr. Jerry is saying. Dr. Jerry said we met history, and we are very proud of you, Dr. Akude. This is very important because it's the first time that our children in Cologne can dream big. I added Cologne to it, Dr. Jerry, because we have also other people of African heritage in Germany doing also amazing work at the different positions. So that's why I added Cologne so that it should be very specific. So it's a
Mhm.
dream for many of our young people in Cologne. Doctor, this is a very big assignment that you're
The
having.
doctor is back. The camera is working. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's fine. I'm happy that it's
I
working
get
now.
it. Yeah, even though it's
Uh,
not very clear, it's but continue.
I'm happy that it's working now and the people are there excited waiting. Doctor, if you now that you are in there, remember the question I asked you the last time
Mhm.
we were having the interview and said, if you had the chance to be in there, what would you do first? Can you
Mhm.
remember? Now I'm asking you that the question again differently. Now that you're in there, what
Yeah.
is the first assignment you want to begin with? What is the first thing you want to start with?
The question is not that very easy to answer because you you have a leadership you have a leadership of the council that gives agenda, what you have to do. So, and these things have priority, you know. So, but after that, after this priority, the next thing will be, as I said, first of all, we need to bring ourselves together. I think that was also the way I answered the question last time around, if I remember. You know, the first important and most important assignment for me is get our brothers and sisters together. All these little quarrels over nothing should stop. We should start thinking about, using what we have today to build a greater and better future for our kids. Unfortunately enough, most of us doing all those things, we all have kids, so we should have interest in the future. So this, I think, apart from the priorities to be laid down by the council, this is something that I need to take up first of all. We need to, come together, and we just don't talk about politics. The first thing is, how do we first of all come together, build trust, amongst us. I know there are a lot of intelligent ones out there. There will be a lot of suggestions. We will pick the best of them, but my own suggestion is we have to start first of all by building trust amongst us. When we have trust, then we can start taking up the assignments, and then we can accomplish them successfully. If you don't stand together, this very old proverb, united we stand and divided we fall. For you to solve problems, you have to stand. So that is the most important thing, that around which every other issue revolves. Once we get it done, then we are in a position to take other things one after the other. you know
I thank you so much for this enlightenment, because I think that usually when you are voted into these positions, because we are not familiar to the system, we tend to
Mm.
think that you're going to have to solve everything. And so I'm so happy that you were able to to enlighten the people on the agenda,
Mhm.
right? So it means there's always going to be an agenda, and you're not the one even writing the agenda.
Yeah,
You are
no,
going to
no.
sit amongst the people, and you're going to either say yes, no, and give your own point of views to those
Mhm.
agendas that has been given already, right?
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think I really like the fact that you enlighten that, because more usually, because we are not politically enlightened, we tend
Mhm.
to feel that when we get there, everything is just going to change. But I
Mhm.
also like the idea that you are representing. I mean, the fact that you're there, for me, it is a success because of the fact that you're representing a group of people, even if you like it or not. The color that you are having,
Mhm.
the background that you're having,
Mhm.
gives already an opportunity for other young people, just like Dr. Jerry was saying, to
Mhm.
hope that they can be a change. Ladies and gentlemen, please send your questions. If you have questions for Dr. Akude, please, this is a time to share your questions. He's here to answer our questions before we are going to be leaving very soon. So again, he has a challenge with your cam is back
Yeah.
again. So
Yeah. Will it back?
we
Maybe
have
just.
a question, doctor. From We have a question: is there a concrete plan on how we can get together? Because I think most of us do want that. Is there how that often seems to be a challenge or an obstacle, or
Mhm.
again a problem? So do you have a concrete plan? I would say a step by step tool that you can say, if we do this, we do that, we can build up trust and we can work together.
Mm. Um, I have my ideas, but I will plead with you to understand that I don't have to divulge them here. You
Yeah.
know, I have to say what I have to say when I get around with my brothers and sisters. The most important
Okay.
thing is we get around, and I will also prefer a situation, as I said before, where we will work out what we'll do. I'm not the kind of person who will, who will say, and now I'm a counselor, and now I tell you how we're going to do this. No, it's not my style. We will sit together. Think as Rose just said now, the problem, I think, and I think We all want this. The problem is how. So we get around and we discuss how. My only suggestion that I have, adumbrated a few minutes ago, is that we should do it step by step, in the sense that we just don't start solving, the problems we identify in the community. I think the first step is coming together, building a real community, a real union where everybody cares for everybody. And for you to get there, you need to build trust. So this, are the three, so to say, rough stages, trust
Yeah.
and confidence building measures, after which, you use those measures to unite, and then with the unity, you get into the third stage of identifying, urgent problems, prioritizing them, and then tackling them. Mhm.
Mhm. Thank you so very much. We are here at the Sampan Global TV, and we are having a conversation with Dr. John Akude, who is the first person with African heritage to enter the City Council of Cologne, and so he will be the first African councillor in the city, and we rejoice with him because we know that it is, even if he doesn't have to change everything completely, but the image that has been given to the black young person in the city of Cologne is already something to rejoice with. So, and Dr. Akude is saying that when he gets into the council, the first thing he will want to do with our people is to work together, to sit together. He has a whole plan, maybe ideas, but he, of course, cannot liberate everything here.
Mhm.
Remember, he is even not supposed to have all this depth conversation because there is someone also ahead of him. So being a city councillor doesn't mean that he's only there for the African people, but he is there for the council, for the city of Cologne. So everybody is involved. And I'm really hoping for you, Dr. Akude, that you really find the tactics, the tools, the tricks to be able to bring your people together so that you can make the best out of the time that you're going to be in that position.
Mhm.
And Wambiro said, very true. Trust is the most important ingredient. Thank
Mhm.
you for your answer.
Yeah, you're
Doctor,
welcome. You're welcome.
yeah. So as questions are coming in, I will also give you the chance, Doctor. What do you think? What do you want to tell your people? You've told us how excited you are, but let us hear from you. What do you have to counsel us? Counsel us now.
It depends on what, what do I have to counsel you on, Well,
Counsel your people on any subject now. Tell us how to go about anything you think is important. You are now having the
one
talk.
thing I think is important. One thing that affects me so much, at the time, and in this times that we're living, is I see kind of, what do I call it? Um, a kind of rising social antagonism, you know, around the issue of racism. You see, there are certain things that I think are important to say when we fight against racism. And this has not been easy saying it in some of the places. I always have problems, or get involved in argument or get challenged by somebody whenever I say it. But I think this is something we really need to think about. You see, I see a kind of rising sensitivity, and oversensitivity. I don't want to be misquoted on this issue, but it is not everything that we, classify as racism to these days, are really racism. And by doing that, we try to trivialize what the real racism is. And secondly, by doing that, here in Germany is one of the biggest accusations against somebody, against a white person, to suspect or accuse that person of racism. And by doing that, we are pushing more people to to fill the ranks and files of the real racists of the AFD and people like that. And what I'm saying is that if we continue doing this, the number may swell up to a point that they become they start taking up political positions. I mean, the AFD people, and once they start taking up political positions, it becomes very difficult for us here. So what I'm saying is we not all white people are racists. I think it's important for us to know this. And there are some of them that feel that pain that we feel. There are some of them that, want to help. So, and politics is a game of numbers, and our numbers are not that much here. So I think it is really important that in order to defeat racism, we need to cooperate with the progressive whites, who also want a lot of whites are getting serious about it now. So it's up to us to cooperate with them, build up synergy, with their energy and their interest, and try to give the fight against racism a final push. If we start, isolating them, because that is what I see in some quarters, if you're doing something against racism and whites want to join, you have some of us say, we don't need them and things like that. I think that's not a very positive development. You need them as long as they are serious and ready to go the long way with you. You need them. If you ostracize them, and you reduce your own political power, let me just put it like that, and you might be shooting yourself in the leg by pushing them over to fill up the rank and files of the real right, of the extreme right.
Oh, this is a very tough conversation now. I don't want to get into this very tough conversation
That's a very tough
because
conversation.
the conversation is taking can take different dimensions. So I prefer to leave the conversation of racism on Thursday. So, ladies and gentlemen, when if you want to have the talk on racism, our conversation talk is always on Thursday, and we are offering the space for Black people to express their minds, because we think that it's also important to give a safe space for those who have gone through the pains. But on the other way around, because of my profession, I
Mm,
know that it's so important that we work hand in hand. My colleagues and the one I co-authored the book, Professor Melter, is also a European, and so we work hand in hand to
mm,
see that the work is being done. So,
mm,
but today we want to stay on the politics and then congratulate you,
mm,
because we are coming almost to the end of our program. I didn't want to take all of your time, given the fact that you're having lots of calls coming in and
mm.
people who want to be talking with you. I
Yeah.
want you, Doctor, to tell us your last words so that we can close the program. But before then, I want you to know that your people are behind you. We have people saying Black solidarity for progress. We need to move together. We need to be at the forefront together. We need to work together. Therefore, there's a desire for the people to work hand in hand. There's a desire for the people to really work together. And we are hoping that your being there is going to open up some possibilities, especially when we use wisdom, insights, knowledge, and we'll be able to get the trust and to be able to work with one another. Doctor, you have the last word. What would you say if we're
Yeah,
concluding?
thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, my sister. I think I have to use this opportunity to thank the Black community in Cologne and everywhere, anyway, but especially in Cologne for the votes. Thank you very much. We have done it, but it's not over yet. This is just the beginning. I would like to implore you to always stay there for me. You've sent me in there. Thank you very much, but it's not over. I will always consult you on issues, and I will task you. It's not going to be easy for me. It's not going to be easy for you, but we will work hard and try to make it at least, make it better, at least for our future generation. So thank you very much. I don't have so much to say. Only to say thank you, and stay tuned and stay ready to continue to work with me so that we will realize the things that are important to us, and continue to work with me so that we would develop our community into a real community. See, we're talking about it, we're not doing it. We need to start doing it, and these things are going to be very difficult. Even talking about unity and things like that, these things are not going to be easy, but as Rose said, we are we are ready for it. We all want it. It's just that we don't know how. So I think
So,
after the first few days of our meeting, we will know how. So thank you very much for everything. Yeah.
thank you very much, Doctor. We've come to the end of our program, and thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. This was just a very quick program so that we can hear from Doctor himself and hear how he feels to be the first Black person to be voted into the council. It feels good, he said, and he says he needs, of course, our backup, our support to be able to do the job that he's going to do. But I want you to go back home knowing that he is not only elected for the African people, he is there for the people of Cologne. So he will need all of our support, and of course, especially the support of those who are in Cologne to be able to do this work. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done my own part of the job. It is my part to help. Remember, my assignment and my entire purpose of existence is to help. And therefore, I am helping to see that we work hand in hand, because I know networking is so important and collaborating is so important. If we want to go far, then we must learn to work together, put our differences aside, and then focus on the common goal. And I know that we have lots of common goals. I leave you with this, my friends. Please work together. Let us work together. Find the common goal, find the common purpose, and please stay on that. Forget about the other side. We have seen this work in Germany. We've seen political parties work together, even though they have different opinions. We've seen different organizations work together, even though they have different works, right? So why here in Germany, we want to learn the game. And I tell you, politics is a game and it has specific rules. If you want to join it, then learn the rules. Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. And we're meeting again on Thursday for our racism conversation. Bye bye.